Cinema. Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up, everybody?
Today we're doing The Last Boy Scout.
The Last Boy Scout. I wore my $500 pants for this episode, bro. It's a great fucking movie.
I think it was $650.
Oh, was it $650 pants?
Because there was a moment where he's like, $600 pants. Damon Wayans is like, $650.
Then I kill you and steal your fucking pants.
Wasn't it Tony Scott?
Yeah.
Tony Scott is the director. I have everything in my phone. Just gotta pull it up.
Is he dead?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hope not. Could have swore one of those guys was dead.
I was surprised about this, but Shane Black is one of the writers.
Shane Black's a good writer.
And Greg Hicks, two writers. Stars Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, Chelsea Field, and Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Budget.
$8 million.
Really? There's a lot of explosions, like you
I guess
like
there
to
is.
say.
Yeah, I guess there is 20.
29.
All right.
There you go.
Because, I mean, I know this movie's made like 92, 93. So,
Early 90s.
yeah.
But it grossed $59 million, so it got its money back and then some.
How can you not like that movie? You know? It's got two of the biggest actors at that time. And it's funny, and they're blowing shit up.
There's a lot to talk about with this one after we're done, like, synopsizing.
Okay.
Because apparently it was heated on set.
Really?
Fun fact, Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans do not like working together.
See, I fucking knew it, man. That's why I never got a fucking sequel. And I was going to talk about that at some point. But that right there, dude.
Yeah, I was looking on IMDb for
that's almost not even a fun fact. Like, you just like had to know. Because everybody hates working with Bruce Willis.
That's what I keep hearing.
Like,
he's just too... Well, actually, the producer got tired of Bruce Willis, like, stepping over his toes. Like, because Bruce Willis, like, he changed the story.
Right.
He was telling the director what to do, and, like...
Yeah, like, I've always heard that they've said that if Bruce didn't respect the director, like, if he didn't think it was somebody on his level, like, he would just run over him.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to do what I want, so you can either film the motherfucker or not.
Yeah.
Like,
But the producer worked with him on Hudson Hawk, Die Hard, and then this one, but apparently he got burnt out and they never worked together again.
Yeah, I can believe that. I would imagine old Bruce burning a lot of bridges in the 90s.
Yeah. So this is like the beginning. Well, not the beginning because Lethal Weapon came out before this.
Right.
But it falls into that like buddy cop film.
Yeah. But neither one of them are really a cop.
No, Bruce Willis was a security for the president.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And then he was something happened. Well, he protected the president.
He saved the president's life, and then he was later on, after he got injured, he was protecting a senator, and that senator was beating the shit out of a prostitute, and he went in there and knocked him out, and then that ruined his career.
Okay.
So now he's working as like a private eye, like catching wives cheating on their husbands and shit.
Yeah, so his good friend sends him a job. He's like, hey, it pays $500, and all you got to do is watch this girl.
Yeah, she's a stripper.
Yeah, so he's like, sure, I'll take it. He's off doing a job, but he comes home a day early, finds his wife, and because he's a detective, he picks up on little things. He's like, where's the dude at? Who's in the closet? And he's like, I'll count to 3.
She's like, why do you say he's in the closet? He's like, because I checked under the bed.
And he's like, I'm going to count to 3.
Bruce Willis looks like shit, by the way.
Oh, he looks awful.
Hasn't shaved in a month.
Yeah.
Like, he's sleeping in a fucking car. It's the first scene you see him.
Yeah, a scene opens with him sleeping in the car and some kids throwing a dead squirrel on him.
And he's on the phone with his boss. And he's like, hey, I got a fucking hella hangover. I think I fucked a squirrel to death. This movie's hilarious, too, which I love it.
It is. It has a lot of zingers in it. But there's one line I'm going to get to later. It's my favorite line in a movie ever. So anyway, he's like, I'm going to count to 3 by 3.
Right.
I'm going to shoot this gun in the closet. Turns out it's his best
boss
friend.
gut.
Had her gut. Takes the gut. Punches him in the gut. And so his friend gets in his car to leave, and the fucking car blows up.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also the guy that gave him the job.
Yeah, right.
For to watch Halle Berry, who's playing the stripper.
Well, that's what he says later in the movie. He's like, well, why'd you give him the job if it was so dangerous? He's like, because he's fucking my wife. If I die, then he gets the
my
girl.
wife.
Yeah.
He gets my wife.
So fucked up.
Yeah. His wife was a ruthless bitch, too, in this one.
He even Damon Wayans is even like, sounds like a shitty friend or something like that. He's like, nah, he's a good guy.
He's actually my best friend or something like that.
So he goes to the strip club, finds Halle Berry, which is a stripper.
And she is in her prime.
Prime, yeah.
She is banging in this one.
She is. And turns out she's dating Damon Wayans.
Who was a quarterback in the NFL and played for the Los Angeles Stallions, which we completely skipped over. A great fucking
that opening
cameo,
scene.
baby. Like Billy Blanks, shout out to Billy Blanks of Tybo, because he plays an amazing cameo in this movie. He's the running back for the fucking LA Stallions, and he gets a call at halftime.
Right.
They're like, we got a lot of money on this game, Billy. Don't forget who you owe or whatever.
Yeah.
My boy takes a shitload of pills, goes out there with a gun, shooting the other players that are trying to tackle him, pulls off his helmet. Ain't life a bitch. Bam! Blows his dome.
This is the opening scene. Like
Opening scene in the movie.
I was kind of blown away about it because you don't see shit like that.
No. But, yeah, it was pretty brutal. But, yeah, so cut all the way back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Damon Wayans played quarterback in the NFL, but he got kicked out for gambling on his own games.
And drug abuse.
And drug abuse and shit like that. But anyways, so that's where he meets, because he's dating Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet at the club, and then that's when him and Bruce Willis are like, no, is that after that?
That's where, this is where they meet, and it's their first interaction. And it's funny that they say they hated working together because they had such great chemistry.
They really did, man. But I think that's also because they didn't like each other through most of the movie.
Oh, shit. So it plays perfectly into them just like tossing jabs at each other.
Yeah, other than the third act, like they don't really show any kind of nice shit to each other at all.
Yeah, you're right. Because he walks up to him and he's like, hey, nobody. And he's like, that's what so-and-so says you are, nobody.
Yeah. But
I love it because he keeps picking at him. Like Bruce Willis keeps picking at Damon Wayans' character.
Right, because he's a fucking, he's a washout, you know? Like,
right.
You were a superstar, now you ain't shit. Like,
so he, like, irritates him so much that he throws a punch. Bruce Willis just grabs it and just tosses him on the ground.
Yeah.
It made me spill my warm piss.
Yeah. Because, the first meeting with him was hilarious.
Yeah, they're just banter back and forth.
Yeah. And then Damon Wayans and old girl go up to her apartment. She tells him that she got him something for his birthday.
Right.
And he's like, what'd you get me? And she's like, how would you like to have your old job back? How would you like to play football again? And he's like, how could you do that? And then she won't tell him, I guess.
Yeah, well, she says the surprise is back in my house, so they have to go back to her house to show like how he's doing this, or how she's doing this rather.
Right.
So
she's like, we have to go get what's his face. We have to go get Bruce Willis because he's my bodyguard right now.
No, he's like, you don't need a bodyguard. I'll be your bodyguard kind of thing. Like, you don't need that shit. But as Bruce Willis is walking out of the club, he gets hit over the head, which I actually love this scene. The dude that hit him over the head takes him off to the side. He's like, just kill him, get rid of him. Let me bring up the quote because this whole interaction is fucking hilarious.
Oh, with the dude, he starts making him laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's two guys, and he just starts making fun of him, and the guy with the gun or the knife starts dying laughing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here it is. All right, you want it in the chest or the head? Because the guy's like holding a gun to him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's what your wife said. And he's like, hey, would you stop with that wife shit? Because he was saying some wife shit earlier.
Oh yeah, because the whole time they're walking him down the alley, he's talking shit to him.
Oh, right. He's like, wrong. It starts out wrong place, wrong time. Nothing personal. He's like, that's what you think. Last night I fucked your wife. He's like, oh, did you? How did you know it was my wife? He's like, she said her husband was a pimpin' looking motherfucker.
The hat, yeah.
He's like, oh, real cool for somebody who's about to take a bullet. He's like, after fucking your wife, I'll take two.
The dude starts dying laughing. And
Well, there's more, because that's when he's like, you want it chest or head?
Yeah.
And he's like, ask me how fat she is. Fuck you, man.
How fat is she?
How fat is she? She's so fat I had to roll her in flour and look for the wet spot. Guy starts laughing.
Then that's when he sticks the knife through his fucking neck or some shit like that.
Well, there's a couple more.
Is there?
Yeah, he's like, if you want to fuck her, you gotta slap her thigh and ride the wave in. He's like, no, I'm not saying she's fat. Her high school picture was an aerial photograph. And that's when the dude starts dying, and he grabs a broken bottle and stabs him in the neck.
Oh yeah, that shit was hilarious.
I like that part. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
So as this is happening, Damon Wayans is supposed to be following Halle Berry home.
Yeah, she gets in her car.
She gets in a car, gets into like some guy like rear ends her. They pull off to the side. Damon Wayans is at a stoplight. She's like, do you guys not know how to drive? And just gets lit the fuck up. They kill the fuck out of her.
And then Damon Wayans goes through the red light.
Yeah, he comes in to like save her, I guess, even though he doesn't have a gun or anything.
Times, yeah.
And then Bruce Willis comes up. He has two guns. He starts blowing people away.
Because he's got his gun, and then he's got the gun from the guys he just killed.
Right. And
he does that cool thing where he slides across the hood of the car.
Yeah, very, very 90s action.
Very Bruce Willis. That's what you gotta say. It's just classic Bruce.
My wife even said, she's like, it's so weird seeing him with hair.
Yeah. That's like the last years of hair.
He has a head full of hair, and it's very awkward.
Yeah, I think after Fifth Element was when he started just like saying, fuck it.
Yeah. Go the route most guys go.
The whole 9 yards. He had hair for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think 98, 99 was like when he said, fuck it. And just said, go on bald.
I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that.
I remember the first movie he went bald in was Hostage.
I didn't see that.
It was all right. He plays a hostage negotiator. And
Oh, I see.
it's okay. Yeah, if you want to watch it, you could. I think I have it if you want to watch it. Anyways, but yeah, so he they blow up the car or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have to jump down the hill. And
what are you talking about? You're way ahead of this movie. Yeah. Because after they shoot up Halle Berry and he shoots up all the bad guys, they're in the
police station.
That's when the whole pants joke.
Right.
He's like, he looks at him. He's like, leather pants?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, how much does something like that run you? He's like, $650. Bruce Willis. $650
for pants. They're just pants.
I'll
fucking shoot you and take your pants.
And that's when the police chief, whatever, has like a guy in his.
He's like, don't you know who that guy is?
Yeah. He's like, 80% of his truth are lies. Shit like that. And that's when you learn about the whole presidency and shit.
That son of a bitch saved the president once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it cuts to it, like him diving in front of a bullet.
Yep.
Yeah. So now that Damon Wayans' girlfriend's dead, that's like all he had. And Bruce Willis like invites him back to his house, doesn't he?
Nope.
Or they go to her apartment. That's right.
Yeah, they go to her apartment to find out what happened because Damon Wayans like talks him into
like helping him out
to figure out what happened. So I guess Bruce Willis is like, I don't have anything better to do, so fuck it.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they find the evidence because she was gonna she had a relationship with the owner of the LA Stallions.
Yep.
She was gonna blackmail him into getting Damon Wayans back on the team. Yeah, that's right. So while they're there, don't people show up?
They find the evidence of him being in like talks with the senator.
Right. Yeah, it's all. Yeah,
right.
That's all the evidence.
Yeah.
Is the senator talking to the
No,
owner?
nobody comes in. They just find the evidence and they go back to the car. And Damon Wayans plays it in his tape player. And then he's like, skip all this boring shit. And he fast forward.
Ate the
And
fucking
it
tape.
ate the tape.
Oh, that's right. Fast forward eats the fucking tape.
Yep.
I know your shitty ass car ate the fucking tape. Oh yeah, that's great, dude. I forgot about that. Don't fucking hit fast forward.
Don't hit fast forward. He already said.
Why? What's gonna happen? Shoot out the fucking thing. Yeah,
Fast
that's
forward eats the tape.
good. Great fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. And it's actually well written. Like,
Yeah. Well, Shane Black, man.
yeah, it's I was actually surprised how well written it was. So they go. Oh shit! What happens after that?
I think that's when he takes him to his house.
Right, and this quote, my favorite quote in a movie ever. He said something about some horse, and he's like, "You got a little cowboy hat to go with that." He's like, "Man, if you get to know me, you know I'm a nice guy." He's like, "You said you had a daughter. What's she like?" He's like, "My daughter's like 13 years old, and if you come near her, I'll put an umbrella up your ass and open it."
That's right.
I died laughing the first time I heard that, and I just think about it all the time. Like, what an insult!
Yeah, that's good shit.
I'll stick an umbrella up your ass and open it.
Old Bruce Willis, man. I'm telling you.
And that's
King
when
of
you,
the 90s.
yeah, and that's when you find out his daughter hates him. She's cussing at him and whatever, and
You're a fucking asshole. Yeah. Prairie Tom says you're an asshole.
she a little. That was weird.
The little puppet.
That thing weirded me out.
That chick, I feel like she's been in other stuff too.
I'm sure
The daughter.
she looks familiar.
Right.
So he decides he's gonna crash. Damon Wayans is gonna crash at his place. Asks to use the bathroom. He walks in on him
Doing drugs.
doing drugs.
Yeah.
Punches him in the face and says, "Get the fuck out of my house."
And he tells him the story. It's actually really fucking solid acting on Damon Wayans' part.
Oh yeah.
Because I've never really seen him get serious like that in a lot of stuff. But he explains how he had a wife and he didn't do all this shit and she was pregnant, and while he was having the best game of his career, she was walking or standing on a street corner and a truck jumped a curb and killed her, and they tried to save the baby, but the baby didn't make it.
Yeah.
He said his son was alive for 21 minutes, enough for one dream.
Yeah, so not only is his body beaten up because of the football, but his emotional state is in disarray as well. So
And that's why he's just kind of floating through life.
yeah, that's why he's doing all the drugs for mind and body. So
And that's when he says, "You done?"
yeah, if you're done feeling sorry for yourself, you can get the fuck out now.
Right.
But as he's leaving,
The daughter comes out. She's like, "My dad's like one of your biggest fans. He
Yeah.
always said, wish they played football like you used to." And
yeah, he said when you quit. She said when you quit playing, my dad stopped watching football.
that's right. He's like, does he punch all of his heroes in the face?
Fun fact: the card that she gives him is not a real card, but it is. Excuse me. It was made by a real card company. They had it specially made for that movie. I thought it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
That would be cool to have that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm not into memorabilia, but to have that card would
And
be
the one
cool.
they used in the movie.
Especially him signing it.
Yeah. Because it says to the daughter of the last Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta drop that title in there.
Yep.
Yep. So they split up or whatever. And I think it goes to the next day, and Damon Wayans is walking over like a crosswalk or so. Like there's traffic under here, and he's walking over. And like two dudes just fucking toss his ass over there. He fucking lands on a car, and Bruce Willis hears from the cops. He's like, "Yeah, somebody threw Jimmy. What's his last name? Jimmy Woods.
I don't know. I have to look.
I think it's Jimmy Woods. Somebody just threw Jimmy Woods off an overpass."
Hey, IMDb, they always change the layout. I can't ever follow.
And he's like, "Remember, folks, don't try that at home. I'm
Jimmy
Super
Dix.
Dave. Only me is Super Dave." Huh?
Jimmy Dix.
Dix. Fuck. Yeah.
But yeah, well, like, this movie's pretty plotty, but it's there's not a lot going on, but there
Right.
is a lot going on.
Well, it's just like they're the bad guy, the owner of the Stallions, which is played by old boy from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Right.
He knows that she had something on him. That's why he sent those people to kill her. But
Yeah.
they couldn't find the evidence, and so they know that they got it. So eventually, they kidnap Bruce Willis and they try to kill Damon Wayans. And this is like one of my favorite late scenes of any movie. Period. Is old boy from Sons of Anarchy, Tig. He fucking wakes up and he's like, "Can I get a cigarette?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, no problem." Gives him a cigarette. He's like, "Can I have a light?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And he holds him up to get him a light. And when he goes, he punches him in the mouth.
Yeah.
And he drops the cigarette, obviously, in his blood. Bruce Willis is like, "I seen Joe drop my cigarette. Can I have another?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, man. You can have another, no problem." Same thing. Drills him again.
No. Before he says that.
"Oh, yeah, you touch me again, I'll fucking kill you."
There you go.
He puts the cigarette in his mouth. Boom, 2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2. And can I get one more? Or he just picks the cigarette up off the ground, doesn't he?
I think he just pushes his nose. Like after he punches him, he just like lifts up and punches his nose.
Was that what it was?
into
I
his
can't
brain.
remember if he like grabbed the light or whatever, but he
Nah, he just
punches his nose into his brain.
yeah, and it kills him, and he just drops, and then he picks the cigarette up and lights it, and the other dude's like, "You fucking killed him! You fucking killed him!" And then the main, like, not the main villain, but the villain in this
The right-hand man,
situation
yeah.
walks in, and
You fucking killed him. I told you I would.
yeah, he's like, "I told him,
I
told him I'd kill him." But before that, when they pick up Bruce Willis, the I can't remember his name, but the villain,
It's like
there's a
Jason.
cop that pulls up and he starts asking questions and the guy's like, "Is there what's going on here?" He's like, "Well, officer, there seems to have been too many bullets in this gun," and then shoots him. I love that line. Like, that's a really good line.
Didn't they frame him?
Yeah, they put his prints on it and throw it out.
That's right.
So they frame him for that cop's murder. There's like, the more I think about it, there's more little like unanswered questions, because whenever his friend dies in that car bomb, the commissioner thinks that he did it because he found out he slept with his wife, so he thinks he killed him. And now he's framed for this murder of the cop because his prints are on that gun.
That's right.
So,
And then he takes the picture of him handing the money to the people. Doesn't he? Yeah. When
Yeah.
they're out in the woods.
oh right, that's a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's before him and Damon Wayans get back together.
Right.
Somehow Damon Wayans and his daughter meet up. She like follows him.
That's right. And he
Oh,
she
they're in
brought
the station, and they keep asking Damon Wayans what happened, and he won't give up any information, so they have to let him go.
it. Right.
But his daughter's there, and he writes down the address of the owner of the football team.
Oh yeah.
They write down his address.
And he goes
And I
to
guess
watch him.
I guess he fucking throws it away. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you write down the address and then just like leave it there or toss it? It's like, why wouldn't you take that with you? What, don't you need that? Because his daughter finds it, and he's like, "How did you find me?" She's like, "I hitched," and gave him the paper where he wrote it down.
That's right.
So,
Convenient plot point.
all right, that was a little wonky. Anyway, they get to that place, and that's where he kills that guy.
I thought that was really. I thought that was probably the dumbest thing as a villain. Is the owner of the Stallions, like, they got Bruce Willis here torturing him at his house. Like, he comes out of this pool and he has like does the evil guy thing where he's like,
I know that he even has the Doberman Pinschers behind him, like 2 of them.
"You
Like,
believe that bitch was gonna blackmail me? I had to kill her ass," shit like that.
yeah, because you've. This is where I told my wife, I'm like, this is kind of cheesy because you have the villain explaining his whole plot to the
whole
fucking
thing.
protagonist, and it's like,
He goes, "And that son of a bitch don't know how to take a bribe, or ain't never seen a bribe. He can't,
well, the thing is, he wants the senator to legalize gambling
That's right.
for
That's right.
football to get better ratings.
Mm,
And the senator won't take a bribe unless it's at least $6 million. And apparently he's a shitty guy. He's not that
That's
successful because he doesn't have $6 million to fork up, so he's just gonna kill him.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but he's telling all this to Bruce Willis. Like, that's kind of cheesy. So I'm thinking Shane Black did right. I think this is where Shane Black kind of like lost.
He only paid me for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think he wrote the first like half of it, or he wrote the whole story, but this is like most of it. The first half is his stuff, and then the second half is the changes that Bruce Willis made to the script.
All right. Well, and then they're flaming. They're gonna kill the senator, and they're gonna frame Bruce Willis
For the murder.
because he was calling the senator and like threatening him and shit because he ruined his career.
Yeah,
He's like, how do you know the senator's home number? He's like, so I called him a couple times.
Yeah, because the police commissioner is like, so and so's been getting some phone calls. That wouldn't be you.
About that, would you? No. Yeah, that's at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they got him in the woods, and they're taking pictures of him giving, evidence to people. And that's when the daughter shows up.
I don't like this part.
I love that part.
Do you? I mean, I like it as an idea, but it doesn't really like.
It's not practical.
Right. You wouldn't like this wouldn't really happen.
Seen the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you can't just like hold a fucking.
Yeah, she walks up with her puppet that she was using earlier in the movie, and there's a gun inside of it, and she gives it to Bruce Willis.
Obviously, she doesn't tell these guys with guns that this is her father. Hey, mister, can you make him talk? And then Bruce Willis puts the puppet on and starts doing fucking jokes, like making fun of all the bad guys.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he just takes the fucking puppet. It's got a gun in it. Bombs.
Yeah, starts blowing people away. Like, it's a cool scene, but you're...
Oh, man.
Wow, ruining the podcast. Wow.
Yeah, my bad, dude.
Oh, we got to redo this whole episode.
I'm usually pretty good about that.
That's cool.
First fuck up of 2020. Anyways, there's a great car chase. After that. And there's C4 in the trunk because they were going to blow him up, weren't they?
No, that was at the beginning of the movie. He finds the C4 in the stripper Halle Berry's second car. But he disarms it, puts it in his trunk, and one of the henchmen come to like kill them, and he coerces them into like shooting the trunk. Like he's like, what you're looking for is in there. So they shoot the trunk to open it because he threw the keys away, and that's when it blows up. That's what the C4 was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we skipped over that part, but whatever.
But well, they also does it at the end.
There's 2 suitcases. There's one that's supposed to be sent to the senator to blow him up, and then there's also like a $6 million suitcase.
Right. Yeah, that's great. But anyways.
Yeah, so they're doing the car chase, and it ends with the bad guys landing in the pool, and then their car. I didn't like this part because they went down a hill, and the way they went down it, the cars would have flipped nose to tail, but it doesn't. It kind of like glides down. So
it's like it just kind of drops down in the frame.
Yeah, I kind of like, I was like, I wouldn't do that physics, but I let it go. Anyway, they start shooting the car. They get the suitcase with the money out of it.
Alive.
Right
now.
And then it turns out they leave the daughter there for the pool, the felon, the car of the pool of the owner.
Yeah.
They leave his daughter there with him.
Yeah, he's like,
call the cops. Like, that was kind of silly, but whatever. I
didn't like that, because so him and Jimmy could go save the day.
Right. But it turns out the main bad guy in that scenario didn't die, takes his daughter hostage, and yeah.
Yeah, he shoots. Yeah. And they go.
And then they chase down the one car that actually does have the bomb that's going to the senator. Shoots the tire out, flips it over, gets the bomb out of it, puts it in the car. And in the trunk, there's the money. And in the back seat, there's the bomb. Plays an important part later. So then
it's the money's in the...
Nope.
The bomb's in the back seat?
Yeah.
Okay. You're right.
Because later on, they finally capture them again.
Oh, yeah, because he pops the trunk and he's like, money's right here.
Yeah. So I wish I knew people's name. The owner of the football team finally captures both of them. And before that, they get some shredders,
Yeah, the
stuff called
bullets.
shredders.
Yeah.
They say Bruce Willis says they use this to blow off locks.
Mm.
It's 12 gauge bullets or
Well,
whatever. Anyway, Damon Wayans has them in his pocket, and then he tells the guy, he's like, "Yeah, I got the key to the safe that unlocks all
It's a
the
locker.
money."
He says it's in a locker.
Right. So he's like, "You got to get it," and then he throws it in the flame. Like there's a fire near, and he's like, "It's one of the plastic keys."
The ones that shred.
It's so stupid. That was actually kind of lame, but whatever.
Well, he had to let Bruce Willis know that the shit was about to go off.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Because, of course, the daughter gets brought to the owner's house.
Right. So it's those shredder ones, so they blow up and they end up getting away.
Well, the old man gets away. Because Bruce Willis tells him, he's like, there's $6 million in the back of a car.
Right, in the back seat of the car.
Seat of a Mercedes.
So
whatever.
the old man gets away, but for some reason they're parked beside each other, and he looks in the back of the car, sees a suitcase. He's like, "You weren't..."
Shit, Joe, you weren't lying.
Right, and he gets the suitcase and drives away.
And then they have to run to the stadium to stop Milo from killing the...
yeah, because he's going to snipe the senator.
That's right.
So they...
So Bruce Willis goes after the rifle guy, and Damon Wayans is supposed to create a distraction to save the senator.
I guess we forgot to say that the owner of the football team was so upset Damon Wayans' character quit football because of pain or whatever, so he shoots him in the hand out of for whatever reason. So Damon Wayans is shot in the hand.
That's right.
And he causes a distraction by getting a horse.
Yeah.
And riding it on field. And then getting the football at the senator, and Bruce Willis gets on the Milo.
Yeah, they get up there and they fight on the
lights.
The lights, of the stadium.
Yeah,
it's a really cool shot. You know,
it was a pretty cool shot
because of course he gives them everything except for exactly where he's at.
Right,
he's in a very high, bright place or some shit like that. Yeah.
Fun fact: there were a bunch of extras that showed up for that scene that. They changed the day, but didn't tell anyone they changed the day. So a lot of people came up to work or came in to work that day. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're not shooting it today." It's like, we're all here, though. And they refused to, like, pay them or do anything with them. So riots started. And they had to call in the riot police to, like, get everyone out of there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But anyway... So yeah, Bruce Willis defeats the guy in a really gruesome scene. He kicks him off the lights and he lands in the helicopter blades and just blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, Bruce Willis is like, when he's getting shot at, he's like, if I make it through this, I'll dance a fucking jig. And it shows him on the Jumbotron.
Right.
Dancing a little jig.
Damon Wayans is like, for a dancer, he makes one hell of a detective. That was pretty funny.
That was good because he gets shot.
Yeah, and as they're getting cleaned up in the ambulance, they realize they're like, "Oh shit, what happened to that suitcase? There's the money."
Well, JW took the wrong case.
Yep.
And then it shows the old man with his Dobermans, opens the case, kaboom.
Yep, and they see it off in the distance, and they're laughing. My wife didn't like this part. She's like, "He died," and they're laughing.
Well, I mean, he's the bad guy. Fuck it. And then the wife comes and, tells the daughter, like, "You're going to respect me now. Like, stop being a little asshole."
Mm-hmm.
Saved your life twice today. And the wife's like, "Please don't kick me out. I'll get a fucking dog." Because he tells her, "What am I supposed to do? You're never here. Get a fucking dog."
Right. Yeah, she says that. I'll get that dog.
That's what she says. "I'll get a fucking dog."
But yeah, that's pretty much the movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They save the day. But there's a few fun facts. I didn't write them down because I was just going to read them.
Right.
Tony Scott hated working with producer Joel Silver so much that he based the character Lee Doughton's movie producer and cocaine user dealer on his next movie, True Romance.
Oh, shit, yeah.
On Silver, and he made sure of him to look and act like Silver did.
Damn.
I thought it was pretty funny. It makes me want to watch True Romance again.
Hell yeah.
Assistant director James W. Scott DePole Later recalled how some of the production problems were caused due to the overabundance of alpha males on the project. As he said in the interview, Bruce was just the height of his stardom. So was Joel, so was Tony, and so was Shane. There was a lot of people who had a lot of opinions about what to do. There were some hated early 90s testosterone charged personalities on the line. It was a charged environment, shall we say.
That makes perfect sense. Though.
Everyone was like on their at their peak when this movie came out, so everyone thought they
So everybody
knew
that
better.
made money off of this movie hated each other, and then the two stars hated each other. So that's why I never got a damn sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have seen this again.
I don't think I would have wanted to see a sequel to this. I mean, we have Lethal Weapon, which has a few of them. 4.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't do 4 or nothing like that, but I think one more would have been great.
You think?
Yeah. Like, Damon Wayans gets back into the league, and, they're trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He was the football player that got banned and got brought back. Like, you know what I mean? He's at the end of his career. Bruce Willis is still hanging around getting drunk.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been good.
Maybe.
Not 30 years later now, but,
but back in the day. Yeah, I could see it. Composer Michael Kamen hated the film when he first saw it. The only reason he provided the score was out of personal friendship with Bruce Willis and producers Joel Silver, which makes complete sense because the score is so forgettable in this movie.
Yeah.
It's so generic.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember
it's just
it.
90s action.
Oh, this is the one I told you before. A riot occurred during the film at Los Angeles Coliseum. Hundreds of extras were recalled for a second day of shooting, but last-minute decisions were made, canceled the recall. The extras were not informed of the decision, arrived expecting a day of work. They were refused pay by the production, and discontent grew. They began surge against the barriers surrounding the set. Riot police were called in to disperse the crowd.
Pay me my fucking money.
Right, I show up and you don't tell me? That's like going into work and they're like, oh, we're not working today.
Oh, well, who the fuck told me?
Yeah, nobody told me.
Exactly.
Shane Black's original script was very different from the final film. It had more dark tone, more violence, and almost the entire second half of the script was completely different. Besides many different with the plots and characters. Black's script also included more focused on 2 main villains, Milo and Shelley McCone. Marcone.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
That must have been the one they went with.
Not really. It had more focus on them. More than the actual film. Milo, for example, was an even nastier villain than he is in the film. The script, besides being a hit man for McCone, he also had a job as director of snuff films in which men would kill kidnapped women in violent ways.
Well, he was a weird ass fucking character.
Yeah, I could see that. What else has that guy been in, Milo? Like, he's a pretty popular actor, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him in a few things.
Yeah. In the 90s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I can't think of any right now, but yeah, I've definitely seen him in other shit.
On the original script, the entire third act was set on water.
I like where the other direction they went.
I kind of like the one too. I don't like water.
I like how they tied the football bat together with Damon Wayans.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's not a bad movie. Like, I was telling my wife, like, they set things up and pay off later. That's kind of how a movie is supposed to go. I think it's a good movie.
I mean, as long as you take it for what it is, good fun. It's like
it's 90s action comedy,
buddy cop, like
buddy cop film.
Exactly.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
I seen this movie when my dad showed me this movie when I was like 10.
Oh yeah,
I loved it ever since.
My wife didn't care for it. She's like, it wasn't made for me. It's not my cup of tea. But my dad, this is the shit he watched. Like, just action, 90s action, 90 buddy cops. This is the shit I grew up on. He probably put this on, and I just don't remember it. But
right. Yeah, I've always loved this movie. Still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a fun movie. I probably won't watch it again, but
yeah,
it was an experience.
What kind of metal band are we looking at for it?
Fintrol.
Fintrol.
Fintrol is like around a 4. It's not
Damn, really? I
It's
figured you enjoyed it more than that.
my scale goes from 1 to best, 10 to worst.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
right.
opposite of yours.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a 4.
So it's pretty good. All right.
So it's not my favorite, but I had fun with it.
All right. I feel you. Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy it because you know Damon Wayans and I love Bruce Willis, so
Mm-hmm.
love Damon Wayans too. Grew up on My Wife and Kids and shit like that.
Major Payne is like one of my favorite comedies.
It's a good movie.
I love Major Payne. Like every time you give me a Damon Wayans movie, it makes me want to watch Major Payne again.
I've always loved Damon Wayans. I liked him in Colors. He's only in that movie a little bit, but he's great in that too.
What is he up to besides like My Wife and Kids? I haven't seen him do anything.
He did the Lethal Weapon TV show for a little bit.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
They stopped it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the guy that played Riggs, something happened. He had to leave the show. They tried to put somebody else in, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But it didn't go on much longer.
I don't think I like Bruce Willis that much.
No.
Like after watching this movie, like I like the movies he's in, but I don't know if I'm a huge fan of him because I was thinking about like Pulp Fiction. I fucking love Pulp Fiction because it's amazing. But like I like Die Hards, but I kind of like the movie more than I do like John McClane.
I love Die Hard.
I love Looper, but I just love it as a movie more than I do his character. Like
sometimes it's hard because people, like you said, like they know, like a lot of people know Bruce Willis isn't the nicest guy in the world, so it's
and it's
hard to enjoy him.
A good example is My Wife Hates Prince, not because of his music, just because of his reputation of just being a douchebag.
Really?
Yeah, and that's I think that's what's happening to me and Bruce Willis. Like he has such a reputation of being an asshole. It makes me like, you're not that great of an actor.
He doesn't get along with Kevin Smith. Like who doesn't get along with Kevin Smith?
Well, that's because they did Die Hard 4, and he had that cameo. Kevin Smith had that cameo.
Well, he wrote a little bit on the movie, yeah.
Right, and Bruce Willis came up to him and he's like, "Hey, I would really like to do a movie with you." And that's when they came out with Cop Out. But Kevin Smith is an artist. He's not a technical artist. So Bruce Willis is so used to working with these technical proficient directors.
Right. They tell him exactly what they want.
Right, and Kevin Smith
lets
kind of
people do their thing, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of like goes with the flow of things, and Bruce Willis didn't like that, so they had like clashing heads, and
That's what I'm saying. Like Kevin Smith, everybody always loves Kevin Smith. Bruce Willis didn't.
I've been listening to his podcast again.
Have you?
Kevin Smith, he has redeemed himself for me, just because he's went on the vegan diet thing, or plant-based he likes to call it, because people get angry with vegan.
It's fucking amazing.
He's so good, and he's so clear-minded. Like that dude is a national treasure. Like I was listening to his podcast and he's so smart. Like I was listening to him just come up with the shit like on the whim.
Right.
And it's just like,
I want to see Reboot so fucking bad, bro.
I'm surprised you haven't yet.
Dude, like I haven't looked for it on digital.
No.
And that's all the thing you can get it on right now.
Do you watch digital stuff?
I don't have any. Like all of the ones I did, my brother-in-law just comes and takes the digital copies. I just watch the movies.
True.
I think it comes on DVD like next month, though. I'm going to buy it.
Oh, yeah. I want to watch it because he seems a lot more clear-headed and focused than he once was, because like
he's making what people want.
Like I've said before, after Red State kind of lost me and I haven't watched anything.
Well, I wasn't into the Canadian horror shit. Like I didn't really like those, but I loved all the Visk universe. And that's why I'm excited for Reboot.
I haven't watched Captain Marvel, but apparently she references Mallrats in it, or it is referenced in Mallrats.
Yeah, Stan Lee's cameo. He's sitting on a train and he's holding a Mallrats script.
Oh.
So it's like in Reboot, they do a shout out back to Stan Lee because he's in the original Mallrats.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He has a great little part.
Oh, he does, talking about Hulk's dick.
Yeah,
or just talking about dicks in general.
Well,
like everyone
keeps asking. The Thing is his dork made of orange rock like the rest of them? It's a superhero secret, Brody.
I love Mallrats. That's such a good movie.
I love that fucking movie. I named my son after that movie.
Did you know Clerks got put in the National Archive of
I did
Movies.
see that.
I
That's
didn't.
awesome.
I didn't know that. I was listening to his podcast and he was talking about it.
Yeah, it's badass.
That is badass. Like, that's such an achievement.
It is. Lets you know you got to take him serious.
Yeah, right. I mean, I wouldn't take him serious, but what
I'm
he
just
does is
saying,
good.
like, even if you're not into his kind of movies, you know, you have to at least respect it because of the numbers he did
Right.
on that, you know.
And the impact he made on just films in general.
Exactly. And for what his movie cost to make, like, he went the whole independent route. Now that's a thing.
Yep.
But when they did it, it was still like,
Unheard of.
exactly. Not a lot of people could do it.
Do it well, anyway.
Exactly. And like the man sold his comic book collection to pay for a movie. His first movie. He could have bombed. He could have done nothing.
Yeah.
But it got that cult following, and now look at him, man. He's got like 12 movies under his belt.
Well, that's what Mick and his friends are doing, called We Massacre RU Productions. They're
Man.
they're working on their own films, and I think they're doing a great job. They're getting some recognition, and I really hope their stuff takes off because
Shout out to Mick, man. We love Mick here at the podcast, man.
hell yeah, he's been dying to come back, and we're gonna have him back. But first,
Yeah, man.
we're gonna bring on
Stevo Rodrigo.
our Star Wars buddy.
Yes, I can't wait to have our Star Wars discussion with Stevo.
Yeah, hopefully we're able to get together soon
Mm.
because I want to talk about the entire Disney trilogy as a whole, not just Rise of Skywalker, but like how we feel about the whole trilogy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good episode
I'm excited for it.
for sure.
Did you pick out what movie you wanted me to do next? I know New Jack City was like supposed to be this one, but
Yeah. I want to try to give you a comedy because you're giving me one. So it's not a comedy.
it's like it is a comedy, but it has a lot of social commentary on
That's
it.
what I figured.
Yeah.
But I'll try to give you something around that. I might give you Miss March.
Miss March?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a funny movie. It's stupid, silly, but it's kind of like Sex Drive.
I see.
That kind of movie.
I fucking love Sex Drive.
All right, so you might like this
I
one.
always talked about Sex Drive, and finally I was at work one day, and my wife found Sex Drive on one of those streaming platforms and decided to watch it. She texted me halfway through it. She's like, "This movie is fucking stupid. Why do you find it funny?" I'm like, I love it.
I think Sex Drive's hilarious.
The part
With Seth Green.
Yes,
hilarious.
that's exactly
bro.
what I was gonna say. When he goes to the what are they called?
Rum Spa or Rum Shaker or Rum Sugar.
Well, I was more so talking about the those kind of people.
Oh, Amish.
Amish people.
Yeah, the Amish people.
Yeah, that whole scene was just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And that one kid, he only does side characters,
He's great though.
but I love him in everything he does.
Yeah, bro.
I don't want to see him as a main character, but I
No,
love him as a side character, and I want to see him do more side stuff.
Yeah, he's great in the Hot Tub Time Machine. and-
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Kick Ass,
Yeah.
nice little addition.
Yeah, he's
He's
great
a funny dude, but I haven't seen him lately. Where is he at?
He doesn't. Like you said, he just ain't getting no jobs as a sidekick anymore. Waiting for Kick-Ass 3, I guess.
After Jim Carrey, I don't think they're gonna do it.
Somebody said they're rebooting it.
Rebooting it?
Mm,
I didn't hear that.
maybe as like a cartoon or some shit. I don't remember.
Oh, true.
But
I have a movie pitch real quick before we get going.
a movie pitch.
I was at work and I was thinking about it, and I keep thinking about these live action movies, and mostly it was Cats that kind of inspired it. Have you seen the whole controversy on that movie? So they did a live action of Cats,
I know they did that and shit.
but it's
I saw the
getting like
preview.
really, really negative reviews.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are saying it's an awful movie, and it's kind of creepy the way they did the CGI, the face on the
Cats.
Cats thing. And it just got me thinking, and we were talking about rebooting movies not too long ago. And I was thinking about one movie, it's a cartoon movie. If they did like a live action version of it, how like creepy it would be. Have you ever seen Rockadoodle?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, you haven't seen Rockadoodle? Rockadoodle is about this kid that is he lives on a farm. It's kind of like a Wizard of Oz kind of thing where it's black and white and it goes color, but this one is it's a live action movie, and then it goes to cartoon.
Uh,
But this kid lives on a farm. There's a huge storm coming. His farm is getting flooded, and it like cuts to cartoon. And the reason the sun isn't coming up is because the rooster forgot how to sing. He lost his voice. So it spends the whole movie about this rooster trying to find his voice. And while he's doing that, these owls, because they hunt at night kind of thing, are closing in on this family, trying to murder the family. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. But it's these like
animatronic.
Not animatronic, but anamorphic. Can't say that word. It's where they make animals like human like.
Oh, okay.
And it's just following these chickens and owls around doing their thing. And then finally he gets his voice back and the sun rises and everything's good. But I was like, what if they did like a live action of that? It would be really creepy.
That would be.
It'd be really, like seeing these human like chickens walking around.
Wow. Yeah, that would be different.
You should watch it for your kids. Your kids might like it.
Sounds brutal.
I used to love that movie as a kid.
Did you?
Rockadoodle.
Rockadoodle. Just sounds like a winner.
I know. I even asked a guy at work because I wanted to talk about it, and he didn't even see Rockadoodle. I feel like I'm the only one that's seen this movie.
I'm pretty sure you are.
I probably just dreamed it up. It's not even a real movie.
It's not even a movie. It's just,
It's just some shit I came up
Go
with.
to your room, Greg. I'll fucking tell you Rockadoodle with my damn self. That's great. Let's see if you can find it. You should.
Oh, I'm definitely going to look for it because I used to love it as a kid.
Rockadoodle. That's great. Wow.
Well, I won't keep you. I know you got to go. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with Miss March. That's what your next movie's gonna be.
Word.
I'll bring it to work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you work tomorrow?
Nope, I'm off the next 3 days.
Lucky.
I know, I've been needing it. Dude, we've been working so much. They've been making us do the overtime and shit, and I'm just like, just let me sit at home for a few days.
For real. I'm so ready for this 4-day.
I bet. We're only doing 3, off 2, work 3. Or, off 3, work 2, off 2.
Mm.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I guess next one you'll be hearing is hopefully Star Wars, but if that doesn't work out, at least we'll be talking about Sorry to Bother
He
You.
said something about Sunday, but
Yeah, we'll try to get together on Sunday. He said we're good at noon. So.
Yeah, I ain't got shit going on.
All right, cool. So I'll get us all together on noon. There's no...
Till then.
Yeah. No video because this is a little space we're working in, but audio definitely.
Definitely.
All right. Till then.
Later.
Later.